One of the best parts of model rating, or any hobby for that matter, is community. The ability to share your journey with others. I mean, just look at what I use this channel for. Whether my projects are small or large, I love sharing the experience of modeling with the world. And I'm certainly not alone in this. If you're on the community Discord server, you already know we have quite a few active modelers who love posting their works. But not everybody's on the server. Maybe you don't like Discord. Maybe you didn't know the server exists. Whatever the case, a lot of you probably haven't seen it, and that's a shame. People have been sharing some pretty sweet stuff. So, today, join me as we explore what you, the community, has to share. Let's start with a submission that had a video attached. We have this comment from the submitter. Sorry for the last minute submission, but I literally just did the finishing touches on my micro layout. It's my first fully finished layout, as everything before has suffered from either being just small display pieces or being given up on halfway through. Honestly, I can relate to that. Of all the layouts that I've ever started, they've all been halfway completed, and then I just dropped the project before scenery ever really started. Don't worry, the little loop railroad already is getting some scenery as I'm editing down this video, but I have a lot of projects from before I really did YouTube. Maybe I should revisit some of them someday. I really like this little pizza layout though. It's quite inspiring to me actually. Not every railroad has to be super complicated to be fun. I also love that you've shown the progress throughout this project. It's always nice to see the steps and how you got to the finished product. But this layout is not all that this viewer submitted. To continue their comments, everything else I've attached is various pictures of random pieces in my collection. Most are either 3D prints or kit builds, my favorite being what I like to call Naren Fell No. 3, a locomotive I made when I was learning Blender. Dude, this is an awesome collection. I love how you've weathered most of your stuff, it looks really nice. Now, I know motivation can be hard, especially on restarting old projects, but maybe you should go back and try to finish an older layout idea. You definitely seem ready for something bigger, you would have a mild head start on the project from the prior work, and it could be a nice place to display all of what you have shown us here. Next up, we have a submission from Fennec, who's provided us with a small sample of their fleet. A couple of nice Pennsylvania engines in HO, and a few in cardboard. I don't think I've ever actually seen a cardboard train before, and even though I assume these don't operate, I imagine it's not the easiest thing to make these. Sadly, there were no significant comments with this submission, so I'm just left wondering how these were made. I would love to learn a little more. Next up, we've got Mad Waffle, who has this to say. My layout is very basic. It has little detail and my engines have zero modifications, though I don't think every layout needs to be super big and complex. Hence the Aw Sable Valley Railroad. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I absolutely agree. Not every layout needs to be big, complicated, or flashy to really enjoy the hobby. Though I do have to ask, is that a Rapido Canadian Pacific D10? Quite the flex if so. Next up, I'm going to be saying that a lot, we have this pretty little river scene from Albany and Eastern Fan. This is a scratch-built log train with my work-in-progress module. The cars were scratch-built with KD trucks and couplers, and the loco is a custom-painted Pacific Fast Mail Brass 262. You know, for being scratch-built, those cars are rather consistent and nicely built. And the paint job on the locomotive is pretty nicely done. I am curious though, is this module a standalone module, or is it something for like a common system or a club like a Freemo module might be? Let me know in the comments. For this one, buckle up, we got a big one to talk about. I wrote that into the script and I didn't realize how literal that statement was. This model came about as a full joke from where I work. I had been thinking about hanging something above our train department to complement the various spaceships and airplanes above the model department. I also wanted something that could shoot back. I then remembered a few memes of a space big boy and looked into a series from the late 1990s called Galaxy Railways. There's an engine from the show named Big One, and I decided it would be perfect to hang above the department. It's got enough details changed to confuse any UP enthusiast, and will carry 3 gun turrets to shoot at the other ceiling occupants. This particular engine started as a Revel Big Boy kit. The tooling's from the late 60s, so it's quite rough. I decided I couldn't live with a lot of the original detailing. I've replaced the handrails with Cal Scale 604 and Tichy .02 wire. The front end throttle was also replaced with a Cal Scale detail set 268. The coupler cut bar is made to match the show and doesn't really follow US prototype. The headlights are scratch-built from styrene and will be lit in the future. The shroud behind the stack is made from the gun manlet of a Sherman M4 tank. I can't keep my composure with that comment. The safety valves in this shroud are scratch-built from styrene. The next part of this project is to make the gun car from the show. I'll likely be building this out of brass, and have begun finding drawings and dimensions. I plan to build a few of these cars. While I do need one to hang, I also want a few to keep for myself. This project has been hilarious from start to end. I've been having way too much fun with the confusion that it causes. Because of this, I've purchased a Precision Craft Big Boy to modify next. I'm at a bit of a loss for words with this one. This is crazy in the best way possible. Please, please, when you get that Precision Craft Big Boy, keep us in the loop for how the second project goes. We need to know what shenanigans you get up to. Next is K4 Productions. Now I have to add a little note here. They did link a few videos, but I didn't get access to them. Sorry, dude. I think that's on me. I didn't really notice and try to fix the issue until it was too late to get a response from you while I was editing the video. I probably should have been clearer on how to actually share videos with me. I'll fix that next time. Anyways, they had this to say. I am not much of a scenery guy, if you couldn't tell by the layout being just a gray platform. Most of my locomotives are new ones from brands like Athearn and Broadway Limited. Most, if not all, of my rolling stock is secondhand from train shows and stores. Holy fish, you've got a lot of engines. And most of those are Athearns and Broadway Limited? I would be jealous, but we don't have those brands in ON30. Still though, impressive. As for the gray baseboard without any scenery, I totally understand. Back when I did N-Scale, all I had was a couple of wooden modules to lay on the floor, and I didn't even nail down the track. There was something charming about that, you know? Being able to swap out your track arrangement at a moment's notice. Next up is Adeline, who had this to say. I'd like to show my layout that I have been working on since summer of 2019. It's been made to look like winter in a nondescript region. Almost every building and aspect of the layout was built by me, either by kitboshing, kit building, or simply scratch building. Most of my collection is pre-1990s rolling stock and locos, all of which caters to the steam era. My locos are primarily 1970s to 1940s metal locomotives, my oldest being a 1949 Varney 460 10-wheeler. I personally love the 1930s, so that's what I'm trying to model. You know, we are in the Christmas season. This layout is topical. With that said, this isn't really a Christmas layout, and I don't feel like I see too many people who model winter weather outside of a Christmas context. That's actually pretty unique and cool. Though, since we now know your oldest train, what's your newest? Our next submission is from Topaz. This is my little freak. He's a half-worked whack job that works part-time. Painted him a nice red, but he's still funny. I was told to insult the submission, so get a trailing truck, you son of a— Boing! I rather like the paint job on this, actually. Sure, it could use a little bit of a touch-up, but the yellow and black stripes on the pilot work quite well with the black and red of the smoke box in the main engine. And that brass color is really effective. I would love to hear what that is. Next up is SuperDuper. Many first attempts here. Daisy, the rail car, was my first attempt at actual modifications to a loco. The Sodor scrap trucks were my first attempt at weathering. Elsie, the small van, is my first scratch building attempt. The Farquhar Quarry trucks were my first time using waterslide decals, and the Triang Nelly was my first time weathering a loco. When making Victoria, the blue and white coach, I extended a basic Hornby four-wheeler. Not wanting to waste any parts, I made a 2-compartment coach. This started an addiction that I now currently have 2 4-compartments, 2 2-compartments, 1 5-compartment, and 1 1-compartment, which is so stupid and I love it so much, at varying stages of completion. Dude, this is cool, and I must agree that single-compartment coach is stupid, and I love it. Those waterslide decals are especially well applied. Good work, wow. I'd love to have seen a better picture of that weathered tank engine. It looks pretty good from what little we can see. And I'm curious about that little green tank engine. The paint job looks custom, and I'm sure there's a little story you could share here. Next up is this Lego setup from Mindful Metal. This is a Lego narrow gauge porter I did along with a gondola, 2 flat cars carrying a stationary boiler engine and some equipment, and a caboose. There is also a custom modular building with some track in it. I still don't know what I want this industry to be yet. I'm also designing another Lego narrow gauge locomotive. This one is a Cook Mogul in a Denver, South Park, and Pacific livery. These are really cute. That porter has an excellent amount of detail for its size, and I love the Lincoln pin coupler system that you're using. It'll be cool to see that mogul once it's done, especially because of how much bigger it's going to be compared to the current rolling stock you have. If there's anything I think you're missing right now, it's definitely a boxcar. I'd love to see what you could do with one. Next, we've got a submission with only a single image, which is really a shame because, man, this is pretty. This is Gelliswick, Wales, June 30th, 1952. A train is unloading iron from the mines in Robertson Cross onto the SS Harrison, bound for Germany. Largest of the 2 barges, she is kept busy trying to keep up with the iron/coal mines. Last for today, but certainly not least, I have a little announcement. You guys sent a lot of stuff, which is awesome. I love how passionate you all are with your projects, and I'm happy to showcase them here. But, we need a 2-parter for this. I did not prepare enough time to edit down all 22 submissions I received. If you didn't see your submission today, don't worry, I'll have it ready next time. It may take me a few weeks, I do need to focus on the Little Loop Railroad for a while, but I don't want to leave anyone out. Everyone submitted cool things and I want to showcase them all. I'm sorry for the hassle though. I know some people may have gotten their hopes up of seeing their stuff on the channel, and this does put a little bit of a damper on the mood. We will get to you though. If you were included in this video, and there's maybe something I asked to see more of, feel free to contact me at the email address on screen, or through Discord. I may not respond quickly, but I'll help to get any small addendums into the next video. Again, thank you all for the awesome submissions. If you didn't see yours today, you'll see it next time, and I'll see you next time. Cheers, folks.